Hi everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do a review of the new Broadway Limited Cryogenic tank cars. This one happens to be 2720. It's a 2-pack. Let's get into having me show you how these things look and how they are. Okay, once we get these cars out of the box, we see that they have a lot of real nice detail on them. On the ends, and you can't probably see it in here, but I will zoom in on it, we have nice looking steps here on the end, and on the opposite side we do have a brake lever there, and it has a brake rod that comes over and does not necessarily attach to the coupler but very close to the coupler, which is a nice touch. We have nice thin handrails, nice thin railing and brake lines underneath that I will try and zoom in here in a little bit, and the printing and so forth on the car along with the detail is just astonishing. I will admit, like everybody already has probably figured out that's interested in these cars, is they are considerably expensive. However, with the weight of the car is pretty heavy. I don't think it'll have any tracking problems. I haven't pulled it around on the layout yet or anything, but it should track real well. It's got metal wheels, Microtrains compatible couplers. They're not Microtrains. I do not know whose brand they are, and I will likely change to Microtrain trucks on here. However, that's my preference. I think they would work fine for you. Like I say, the printing on the car is very, very nice. I think the build date on this car says 1962, something of that nature. There again, I will zoom in on some of these features. In fact, why don't I just do that right now and explain some of this stuff as I go. Okay, these metal wheel sets and nice looking trucks on here came in gauge. No problems with wheel sets. They don't wobble, they don't wiggle, they don't bump up and down. Extremely happy about that. Like I say, the truck side frames have very nice detail along with the rest of the car, and I'm very happy with that. Okay, zoomed in on the UTLX lettering here, you can see that this is 828 is the number. Capacity of 125,000 pounds, a lightweight of 105,700, and a new built date of, I believe, I'm looking in the camera, it looks like it's 9/62. Very crisp, considering how much I'm magnified in on this. Let me show you something on the other end of the car, and I don't know whether this will come in on the camera or not, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, here you see some lettering in white on the refrigerant. I would assume that that's a refrigerant pump box. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm not familiar too much with the workings of these cars. But if you were to get out a better magnifying glass than this camera can get in, you would find that you can actually read those numbers on there. I'm going to swing back here to the safety placard real fast. Okay, this is as close as I can get on here, and through the camera lens, we read it earlier today, but I don't remember exactly what all was said here. But the little placard there that you see is, in real life, I don't even know what to tell you the size of it is. I mean, it's maybe slightly larger than the head of 4 pins, and yet through a real, and you can almost see it here, but through a even a more magnifying glass than the camera, there is a bottle, gas bottle on the top, and it says non-flammable gas, and then there's a number 2 under there. And you can read all that, and certainly if you can read that, you can read the black lettering there, and we may be able to read that black lettering on there on the computer. I can't right now through the camera. However, all this lettering is extremely well done. The trucks are well done. I think they are Barber roller bearings. It has metal wheel sets, and you can actually see now on the bottom of the car here how nice the tubing underneath and all of the railing underneath and everything actually is. Just absolutely outstanding, in my opinion. Let me back out a little bit. So you've seen the details close up, and here's a relative size. Now, by the size of the car, and I think the car is probably about 55, 60 feet long, possibly. Not real sure. I mean, these are 40-foot box cars in behind, so 40, 50, I would say it's about 60 feet. I don't know a lot about these cars. All I do know is on the car it says oxygen, nitrogen, and argon. I looked those up, or we looked those up in a safety manual, railroad safety manual out at the fairgrounds today, and all three of those gases, when refrigerated down to certain minus temperatures, they will liquefy, which allows them to carry more of that product in a liquid form than in a gaseous form. I believe one of them was around minus 260 or something. One of them was minus 300 and I think 27, and one of them was like minus 360 or 340 or something like that. It was extremely cold temperatures, and how these cars actually function, I don't know, and I apologize that I don't know. But certainly you can look it up on a computer and find out the information on how these cars actually work and how they're constructed. But I think it's pretty amazing that they can keep these gases at that low of a temperature to keep them in a liquid state. But nevertheless, that's about it. All I can show you on the car. All I can tell you is, like I said, the weight is very good. You can see that they're really free rolling. No problems coupling them with each other. They couple nicely. I don't know if we would have trouble with microtrains trucks or not, but that is a personal choice that you could make. But I think given the price point that these are at, the detail on them is well worth the money. I normally don't buy more modern cars like this, but because they fell in the 60s through 80s range of the Santa Fe, I figured I could run them in some trains out at the fairgrounds, some of my Santa Fe trains that I run out there. These will likely not get run on this layout because it doesn't fall into the correct era. However, I was amazed to find out the lifespan of these cars. They had about a 40-year lifespan. I think the railroad mandates that cars have to be retired in 40 years. I'm not sure whether that's still true or not, but like I said, Wikipedia and some of those places say that most of these cars were retired after their lifespan was exceeded, but they seemed during their lifetime to work extremely well. Otherwise, they wouldn't have lasted that long. They come packaged very nicely in a paper box with a plastic clamshell that one goes over the top of the other, much like the inner Bachmann containers. If you've ever had a Bachmann locomotive or car, they have a plastic box with a two-piece plastic clamshell that goes inside, and that's how these tank cars are held in place in their box. And it would appear that that packaging is extremely rugged and keeps the detail looking nice on these. So that being said, I would say that that's about it for a review on these. I may hook them up on the train that I have running around right now, even though it doesn't probably fall in that prototypical range. But I will let you see what they look like going around the layout. As you can see, I have a couple of 11-inch radiuses over there, and these are supposed to be designed for 9 3/4, and obviously they did not have any problem making it through that S-curve on that trestle. And you can also see that they track real well in the video, and they don't wobble. There's no wobbling, there's no anything. Straight as an arrow. So I hope you enjoyed this little review of the Broadway Limited cryogenic tank cars, and thanks for watching. Hey everybody, that's it for the review on the Broadway Limited cryogenic tank cars, and I hope you enjoyed that little review. And like I say, I think the detail on these cars well warrants the price of the cars. They'll rival any brass car that I've seen. The detail is just outstanding on them. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review, and as always, thanks for watching.